Who's the talent now compared to when we were in school?
Overall, it's better. I think the youth coaches are really teaching the right things and putting the time and development into it rather than considering just winning.
Hard nights in the trap, I got paid for this. Lost friends, I lost love, had to pay for this. Now that rollie match the pain, I got change to fix. I done seen the trenches break the real ones apart. You can't fake the struggle when it's written on your heart. I done made it out the dirt, now I play it smart. Not the ones who doubted me, tryna play their part. Tell my cousin don't fall, we gon' shine in a minute. Keep them leeches off your plate, they ain't grind just to get it. I was broke, now I'm up, ain't no time to be timid. I done stand 10 toes, even life tried to bend it. If I die today, just know I gave it all. Took some losses and I still stand tall. Pain taught me lessons that the streets could never teach. Now I'm counting on my blessings, I'm the one that they can't reach. I done came from the bottom, I was made for this. Hard nights in the trap, I got paid for this. Lost friends, I lost love, had to pray for this. Now that really matched the pain.
Why do you want to go down like the coaching route?
Why I wanted to kind of become a coach is the program is like through Jay Shetty, so it's like a life coaching certification program. It's kind of something that I've been interested in ever since I kind of got into personal development. And like I started to kind of realize how the things that I was learning and the ways that I was thinking was starting to change like my perception and like the way that I would experience things and my ability to kind of help other people deal with their challenges. So that kind of what led me down that path of like wanting to coach and kind of like find a way to be able to do that like as my career kind of coaching practice. And part of
Mhm.
it is like sports mindset coaching. So it is like helping athletes kind of like deal with the stress and kind of like the preparation and the mental side that goes along with sports.
What's the biggest challenge you've experienced in like starting to coach? Have you had to get across any hurdles or anything like that?
Yeah, I feel like the biggest part for me was kind of just like committing to doing it in the beginning and like signing up for the course and like committing to like saying that this is something that I want to do, like have my own practice. And then kind of like once I started to coach people and get more experience and kind of like doing it with someone in more like a client relationship, I started to get a lot more comfortable with it. So I would say for me, it's kind of just like the confidence before like the results. So it's like believing that this is something that I could do before like I actually had paying clients.
Now, tell me a little bit about your basketball career. Have you grown up playing the game?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I kind of always played basketball. Like I think it's the thing that I kind of did the most as an activity. Like I never really played any other sports. So it's like I didn't play on AAU or anything. So I played in high school for the first, well, I got cut my freshman year and then I played my sophomore year and then I stopped in high school. And then after that, like I just played intramural in college and then tried out my senior year, didn't make the team there. And then after that, like I've mostly just been like playing in men's leagues. And then I did like a semi-pro league for a little while. But mostly just kind of like staying active and playing the game and like going to the gym, it's kind of been like the most consistent way I've kind of like been able to work out and kind of stick with it.
How come like you took a break in basketball and then came back at it and take me through that whole process? That's interesting.
Yeah, so like for me, I feel like the biggest thing was kind of like commitment. You know what I mean? Like committing to like really wanting to be like an athlete, especially for the team, rather than like having basketball be something that like I enjoyed. Because like I was always more so wanting to play for fun and less so like I want to be able to make it to the NBA or anything. But it's like, the fact that I enjoyed it so much is kind of what helped me like keep my skills up. So people were always telling me I should try out and I should try to play. But it's like I didn't listen to in college until like my last year, and then trying out as a senior with like no real actual professional kind of like experience other than just like rec leagues. It's like a lot harder to make a team that way. So it's like if it's something that I would have committed to maybe my freshman year, like I would have had a better chance like to be able to develop over a couple of years. And then kind of the same thing happened in high school too, where it's like I was taller, younger, so they had me playing like forward, even though I'm more of a guard. So it's like I didn't want to play on that team again. And then after I took a year off, it just didn't make sense to try it again after that.
So take me through that senior year. You decided that, hey, I'm gonna give this a shot. And I've talked to multiple people, and they all co-signed that you should have made that team. Like I told you off the record, I'll even come on the record. Like you were the best player in that tryout. There's no denying that. I mean, your skill level was so enhanced, and now hearing that you haven't really played much organized basketball to know that you were that good during that tryout, it kind of shocked me that you didn't make it. This is a talented player, a really talented player, but I think you hit the nail on the head when you're like, if you don't have a resume to back it up, then what's the show for it? But I think that's BS. If you're talented and you're a good basketball player, I feel like that alone should have you make the team. But I don't. What do you think?
You know, I mean, like, I definitely understand that. And I think that's like, it's like hearing that from guys like telling me to try out and I would definitely make it because I was good and stuff was like part of the reason why I did do it my senior year. And it's like, I understand both sides of it. Like, I think that my talent level, like, was good enough to have me play on that team. But then it's like at the same time, like, looking back on it, like, understanding the way coaches look at the game, like, taking a player that you can train for a couple of years, someone who already has experience, because it's like, the street ball skills don't always translate like playing in a system. So it's like I understand that like it wasn't just about talent and skill. It was like a
Mhm.
decision that they made that wasn't just about like whether I could beat the guys that I was playing against in the tryout. So it's
Mhm.
like back then like it was kind of tough because like I was always like hearing that and like I kind of felt like I was good enough, but it's like just because like I felt like I was good enough doesn't mean I was like the right fit for the team, for what they were looking for.
Now, kind of coming around full circle. Now you're getting into coaching. What's your philosophy? Like, what's your approach to the game?
Like for most games, like I would say for sports in general, like it's more so about understanding like the mindset from the beginning of like why you're playing the game. You know what I mean? Like no one ever really like sat down, like asked me like what I was trying to achieve like with my basketball. It's like I was always kind of playing and working on skills, but it's like I wasn't ever actually like working towards a specific goal. So like my mindset now is always like, what's the goal and like why? And then starting from there, like who can you replicate that's like achieved something similar to that to start going in that direction? And like just being a lot more intentional, like with your actions and with your training. It's like I spend so much time like shooting and working on dribbling that my cardio, like my weightlifting, like all that suffered. When it's like in a college game, like it doesn't really matter how quick you are if you're not strong, like you're not going to be able to play. So it's like not even really focusing on like the keys of where I was trying to go, kind of like push me back. So it's like starting there, I feel like it can help athletes kind of reach their goals a lot easier.
Like, what's the kind of like a day in the life of Coach Brandon?
Yeah, so like for me, it would probably be more so like working with the team. So it's like I haven't really done this too much yet. Like that's the side of my
Mhm.
coaching business like I still want to work on, but ideally it would be like maybe coming in and like talking to a team and just trying to get like a good idea of the mindset of the kids and like why they're playing the sport. Like if the coach wants them to be more committed, like he wants them to complain less, he wants them to be more focused. Like a lot of that can go into it, like or a team that has like been on a losing streak, so like the players aren't performing well, like it's affecting the team chemistry, like being able to sit down with them and kind of talk to them about the way they're approaching it and trying to help them to understand that looking at it differently can help them like perform differently too.
Attacking it from that angle is very interesting. Uh, I haven't really heard many coaches even talk about that. So the fact that you're willing to go in and gauge like how long do you spend with a team? Do you say?
Yeah, so like it depends on like how long the coach would want me to. You know what I mean? Like it might just be like me coming in and doing like one day of practice where it's like I'm talking to the team, talking to players separately, or it can be like on a more one-on-one basis. You know what I mean? Like there's a specific player who's like going through something because like a lot of times, like those slumps, like when you can't do the easy thing, like that's mental. You know what I mean? So it's like that's a kind of situation where it's like maybe talking and working with that player like through a couple of games until they can get their confidence back might be able to help a lot. But I think that like one-off clinics could be helpful, like during like the summertime, especially too, when like they have the most freedom, but like it's also the most important time for them to like improve their game. Like for people that are trying to go to the next level, like I think it could be helpful.
Now, for those kids who might not have like the resources to, reach out and gain your services, what do you say to those guys?
So I would say like start with the free resources out there. Like I would say that it's incredibly hard to like get someone like Steph Curry to like be your mentor and teach you how to shoot. But like the amount of content that he's just put out there through like interviews, like his shooting coaches interviews, like that's where you can go to like get tips for free and like just watch interviews of people that you kind of like want to be like. Cause it's like if you listen to a lot of like Kobe interviews and Michael Jordan interviews, like their mindset compared to other players is extremely different. Like even people's favorite players now, like you can see the way they approach the game. So it's like going there first to get tips is super helpful because like you can find out one shooting tip that might completely change your shot and help you improve without you having to pay anything for it.
The first time you sat there and you were just like, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is what the plan is. Now I'm gonna go get it. Like when did you decide that this is what I want to do with my life?
Yes, I would say it was probably like not too long after I got laid off from my corporate job because I worked there for like 5 years. And like this was the first real break I've had between working to really kind of like think about what I actually wanted to do. And in that time, I was spending a lot of time kind of just like being able to not really focus on like myself, but to like really spend time getting to know the people in my life and kind of figuring out what's going on with them. And in that time, like I realized that the conversations we were having, like they were going a lot deeper than conversations that gone before. And I was realizing the kind of value that people were getting from that. And that's when it kind of like aligned with like my goal of like wanting to be able to provide a service that kind of like allows people to have the conversations and focus on themselves like in a way that we don't normally get to.
Mhm.
And then like the opportunity to join the coaching course kind of came along around the same time. So like it kind of just like aligned that like I was looking for something that was pushing me in that direction, and then that thing kind of came up. So like for me, that was kind of just like a sign that I need to stop just like thinking about this and do it. So
Pivoting back to senior year tryouts, can you kind of take me through that like whole process? Like what was your mindset? Did you have someone like you in your ear telling you like, "Hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what you need to do." Did you have that going into those tryouts?
yeah, I wouldn't say that I did as much. Like I feel like it was like what was in my ear was like more like the noise. You know what I mean? Like it was like my ideals of like being on the team and like being able to play as a senior, having not played, and like being able to be super good, when like that's not really something that typically happens with athletes, especially with like organized basketball is just different than regular basketball. So it's like even if I did play, like it most likely wouldn't have turned out that way. But then like everyone telling me that I should try out and me thinking about like what I was gonna have to say to people if I didn't, or like constantly hear from people about why didn't you try out? Like I think my mindset going into it was a lot more clouded than like distractions and fear, optimism and like motivation and like concentration. I wasn't putting as much time and energy into preparing for the trials as I could have been because of like me listening to the ideal that like I was just good enough to be on the team.
Hmm. So did coach have a conversation with you? I know like for me, feedback was important to me. It's like now everyone wants to know like why they didn't make it and stuff, and obviously those conversations are tough. But, did coach tell you why you didn't make it? Did he give you some criticism? Did he give you some feedback? Was it positive? Was it negative?
Mhm. So I feel like it was kind of like mostly what I've been saying. I kind of understood it when he said it. Like it was like the concept of me not having played organized basketball, like their ideal of me being able to like fit into a system as compared to like I feel like in that year there were more younger guys trying out than older guys. So the team was kind of in a restructuring period where it's like keeping me rather than taking someone they'll be able to mold for the next couple of years. And then like, also the kind of stuff we said about like the conditioning and like the size and stuff, like me working out sporadically is not the same as like if I would have been like training with the team for 3 years. Going up against guys that are like that size in my position, it was just too tough of a sale for him, really. The bad things didn't outweigh the good things, but like he's trying to build a team, not just like have one person play.
So do you think that if you had more years with that team, you could have made the team?
Yeah, I think so. I think if I would have tried out earlier, because then I could have, it would have been a lot easier for him to say that, like, all right, this is going to be the year where you kind of like learn the system and get used to organized ball, and then like you'll be able to play better in the following year. But it's like if you're taking someone that's like a senior, it's almost like you're going to be productive like automatically right now. And I feel like that was something he said that wasn't what I showed in the trial.
Hmm.
Was it because of my skill level or was it because of like my preparation leading up to it? I mean, like there's a lot of different ways I can look at it, but like for me, it was like more about like what I can't control rather than what I can't. Like I couldn't control the fact that I waited until I was a senior that year. There were younger players. It's like I could control that I didn't try hard enough to prepare for it.
Right. And what would you say to someone that's going through the same thing that you're doing? I know I've seen a lot of guys who are extending their eligibility for college and they might redshirt a year or go to JUCO to try to get noticed more at other colleges. The possibility of them making the team is probably not high for the simple fact of the things that you just discussed, you being a senior. But if they know a prospect is a really top prospect and they're only going to have them for a year, what would you say to someone who like was going down the same process you were and waited to the last minute to try out? The talent was there, but the team said that they don't want to develop you or put time and energy into you because you waited so long. How do you have that tough conversation with that kid? Tell him like this is what you need to do, this is what we need to prepare for. Like, how do you keep their motivation like high?
It is an interesting question. And I think that like the first thing I would say is like you get in contact with the team. Like something that I wish I would have done more is like the coach is accessible, especially off season. You know what I mean? Like they're there, like you can go and have conversations with them and like specifically asking him what things do I need to work on, like what things are important, which is like something that Pat told me to do when I was telling him that I wanted to try out that year. But it's like I went and did that once, like had one conversation with him, and a lot of the things were like conditioning, fitness, and science. It's like even the things he told me to do, it's not like I worked on them that much before trying. Having that conversation, then you get like a clear idea of what they're looking for, or like if there's even an opportunity for it. And then you kind of have a roadmap of what you need to focus on those things. And then as far as the motivation goes, like it's really just about the goal. So like if your goal is to make the team and now you have the path to make it, like how much can you commit to like doing that work and like staying focused and like not getting distracted?
Lastly, do you think age matters in basketball?
Depends. Like
So, like, say, like, you're like a 20, 25, 26 year old who, has been out of the game for a few years, but wants to kind of make a comeback. Like, what do you say to a player like that who thinks like, oh, they're too old? Because basketball years, you're old around, I would say, 32, 33. It's like, what do you define as like, okay, this might not be the path for you, with this is the path for you?
I mean, like I feel like it depends on the goal. Like obviously at a certain age, depending on years of eligibility, playing in college is not really a thing, but there's so many different leagues now and so many places you can go and play and like have opportunities. I think that I would say there is no like real age limit on it. It's more about like your physical limit. And like that's going to come in with like how much you're taking care of your body and preparing for it. Cause like as we're seeing now, like guys are playing way longer and better than they ever did. So it's like that age just keeps going higher and higher. And it's only going to be better for you the more you kind of like take care of your own body too. Like the limit is mental at that point. People might say you're too old. Are there people your age playing? That's kind of like the reference at that point. And like even if no one's ever done it, doesn't mean you couldn't be the first to. So like I wouldn't really put limitations based on that. Like it's more on like a person by person basis.
Yeah.
Like if you're like 4'11", it's like you're not gonna be dunking like LeBron, but like there are short guys who can jump, But it's like which one are you trying to be? Is that really the most important thing to you? And still enjoy the sport and find other ways to like contribute to it without it being the way you thought it was. So maybe letting go of like the ideal that you have to be on like a D1 team or like you don't want to transfer. Like what's more important, like the playing or the other things?
Well, listen, Brandon, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and talk. And I wish nothing but the best for you. I hope that you succeed in your coaching position, and I hope we can hear from you again and just to see how successful you turn out.
Yeah, definitely, man. I really appreciate it. It was nice to talk to you too. These are awesome questions.